Welcome back to another one. In this video, we will be going over the five mistakes I've made so you don't have to do the same mistakes. And this is just learning from experience and really what I would do over if I could. If I started over today, then these are the five mistakes I would avoid. And I'll go more detail on what to do and why I agree on those things. So, number one, being afraid and not doing the work. I think that is a lot of people that struggle with being afraid, especially if they come from 9 to 5 background, which I did. I've been doing like the same job for 7 years, and I switched over to run my own business. And you're going from trying to run it as a side hustle and maybe do 1 to 2 hours a day on the business to maybe have 10, 12 hours a day that you can leverage onto your business. Then it gets pretty confusing and it can be overwhelming because you have so much time that you're used to only doing like 1 or 2 hours of work. And then you really just get confused and get overwhelmed with all the work that you can do. So I will definitely recommend that you get a plan on what to do every day. Maybe plan your week every Sunday. Sit down for 2, 3 hours. Say, okay, where do we want to take my business next week? Maybe I wanted to do more outbound because I need more clients. Maybe I want to do focus on this, and that. So then you can break it down and says, okay, in this week I will be doing 500 outreaches. Then I'll break it down. So each day, how many outreaches do I need to do? Do I work Monday to Sunday? Do I work Monday to Friday? Do I have something in between that I need to do? And then just sit down and execute on the plan. Because if you don't have a set plan on what to do and how to execute on it, then I think most people will get confused. I did that as well. I was just sitting, staring into my screen for 3, 4 hours, and I was thinking to myself, I haven't done anything. So to be productive, I'll highly recommend that you do that and start planning your days and your week ahead, just so you don't sit down and don't know what to do. That is a really big hurdle of mine that I really don't like to admit, but that's how it is. That's the number one mistake. And then number two, that I get too comfortable. And what I mean by that is I got a goal which is to get the first 5 clients, which I achieved pretty quickly, in my opinion. And then I just sat down and focused on delivering them results. And to be honest with you, I didn't really know what I was doing at the beginning. I just set up these systems for them, doing the cold outreach through email and just really doing trial and error. And I learned a lot from that. But the biggest mistake I did when I got too comfortable was that I turned off my campaigns. So I lost my lead flow, and then I just needed to pick back up where I left in terms of that. So I would really suggest that you don't get comfortable and don't say when you hit a goal, if it's the first 3 clients, if it's the first two, it's the first five, it's the first 10, then don't stop there. Always achieve your goal and then hit a higher goal. So always make sure that you have some goals that you need to hit, so you don't get comfortable in saying, okay, I achieved five clients. That is my was my goal. Now I'm just gonna sit there and wait for something. But what are you waiting for? You really just want to scale. Of course, we all have different reasons why we are doing this and what we want to achieve. But if you want to achieve like financial freedom, which is I know a lot of guys and girls are their dream goal, then you need to get more than 5 clients, unless they're paying you like $50,000 each. But that can happen, but not in the start at least. But yeah, so to get to the point, really don't get comfortable. It is a big mistake, and I really suggest that you don't do that. So always keep goals for yourself and track the data and keep moving forward every single day. So coming in number three, that was I touched a little bit on it on get comfortable and not doing the work, but turning off my campaigns was probably one of the biggest mistakes I made. And yeah, as I said, when I got comfortable, got my first 5 clients, then I just completely turned off my lead flow. I threw out all the campaigns that I had been running, and I just thought, okay, let me focus on delivering these client results, which you should do because you can't run a business if you can't deliver results or have happy clients. But you at least want to keep the lead flow going, so you have maybe a couple of meetings a week, or let's just say one meeting a day in a whole week. That will be very good. You just scale down the volume if you can. If you feel like you can handle more clients, then you just do a wait list or anything like that. It was a big mistake. So I learned from my coach actually, which is the outreach and the stuff that you're doing now is what will eventually hit you 3 months down the line. So that's why you don't want to turn off your campaigns, because you want to keep that lead flow coming, and still want to train your skills in sales and how to handle meetings, and see if it works best for you to do a two call close or one call close, or what can you do better in your sales calls, which I highly recommend to record your own sales calls. But when you have turned off your lead flow, then you get out of the way, out of, we're going to say, the rhythm of having sales calls. So you lose kind of like your pitch and how to do it. Then instead of you doing that, then have some sales calls coming in, still train yourself, get better at sales, get better at how you handle meetings, how can you handle objections better. So basically how to do all that in sales is very key also with scaling down the line, unless of course you want to take on some people that can do the sales calls for you. But at least in my opinion, it makes sense to better you in every single possible way, and sales is one of them. If you can sell to people, then you are pretty much unstoppable. So that is the number three. And coming in at number four, that was relying on motivation. Of course, when I started out, I was really motivated. I just had this desire and fire inside of me that I really just wanted to hit this goal. And I think everyone just want to hit 10K a month. And when I just found out that relying on motivation isn't really that good, because motivation comes and goes, but discipline will stay with you forever. So that's why when you make a plan, execute on the plan and make sure that you do the work. And I like to have like a little notebook where I write down my time in terms of what I do every day. So every hour, every time I stop doing a task, then I mark it down and say, okay, now I have maybe a 10-minute break. Then after the break, I can do this, and that. Now I have a coffee. Now I have this, and that. It's a little bit, what can you say, OCD like in the beginning, but it really makes sure that you track your time and you can see, okay, do I really spend 10 hours of work when you probably only do 1 to 2 hours of productive work sitting 10 hours at your desk? So I really recommend that you track your time as well. And then you build up the discipline of just doing the work, because I know it's boring to send out 100 DMs a day through different platforms, but doing that is what is necessary to achieve your goals at the beginning. Of course, relying on the cold email campaigns if you're running a B2B cold lead gen agency is good, of course, but leveraging what you can in terms of outreach at the beginning is a huge difference, and makes a huge impact on your success in this space. So I was sitting down doing maybe 3 hours of manually DMs every day, which was, to be honest, not that sexy. It wasn't very nice, and I wasn't very pleased with it, but it got me the results that I wanted. And when I've done it for 3, 4 days, then it just was a habit of mine. Just sit down on my computer, know that the first 3 hours of the day, and I just need to do outreach. And when you do that and really get your discipline going, then you don't rely on motivation. Because as I said in the beginning, motivation will come and go. But this way you build up yourself. That's the same as going to the gym or eating healthy or anything like that. You can't just go to the gym when you're motivated, because then you're maybe only gonna go once a week, of course, depending on the person, but you just need to have the discipline and build up that. And of course, the momentum will come as well when you have discipline. So when you just keep going at it, then you will eventually hit your goal. And that's pretty in line with the next one, which is number five, and that was not expanding my timeline. I was comparing myself to other people that achieve higher and so-called better results than mine, which was pretty frustrating. I saw these guys hitting 10K in their first 30 days, and my coach actually hit, I think it was 13,000 in 49 days a month, which was crazy. And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing," and I just want to do everything it takes to get to that goal as well. And eventually, I, of course, didn't hit that. So when you set unrealistic expectations for yourselves in terms of financials and goals in terms of money, then you can get pretty disappointed with yourself. So I would just recommend that you expand your timeline. Just if you're coming from a normal 9 to 5, just think about it. How many people in normal 9 to 5 job makes 10K dollars a month? not a lot of people. And if they're doing that, then they have probably worked 5, 10 years in the same company. And even some people after 10 years in the same company, they don't even make 10K a month. They will probably hit 7 or 8K, but there's not a lot of people that is hitting 10K a month in a normal 9 to 5. So reaching that in, let's say, 2 years compared to making it in 10 years in a normal job is just crazy. So you have to really get your expectations right, and maybe set smaller goals for yourself. So maybe the first one hits 12 to 33K a month, and then of course expand on that. But just expand your timeline so you don't disappoint yourself, because what do you have to lose? Nothing. And getting to, I know it's not as comfortable doing having your own business than doing the normal 9 to 5. But if you want to achieve some financial success and have the freedom to do whatever you want when you work and plan your own day, which was my personal goal, just not to rely on bosses and when I need to take breaks and eat my lunch and all that stuff. So now I can just plan my own day, and I just know that I just have to do this task. If I do it in the morning, or if I do it in the afternoon, or if I do it at night, it doesn't really matter. I just need to get them done, and I can plan my day on how I wanted to. And that was really just a goal of mine. And you will find out eventually what your goal is. Now, you might didn't think that you want to make all of this money, which I think everyone wants, because most of people like material stuff. And yeah, who doesn't want a nice Porsche or a nice Patek Philippe, if you're into watches, of course, and cars? But you get the point. Everyone just wants to get this financial success, but are you doing it to impress other people, or are you doing it for yourself? And some people might realize that when they do their own job, and sorry, have their own business, and they have this much time, and they maybe have a system that can generate them 5, 8K a month, when they maybe have to do 3 to 4 hours of work, and they can basically do whatever they want. They will probably do that instead of trying to hit 25K, 50K a month and get a bigger headache and a lot more stress in their life. Because when it comes to more financial goals, you will eventually get more stress in your life. And when you have employees and all that stuff, that will just be more stressful for you. So find out what your goal is, and maybe it will change down the line. But really try to elaborate and sit and reflect on that. Maybe take some notes on what you really want and why you want it. That really helped me as well as expanding my timeline. So I hope you got something out of this video. It's a bit longer one, it's a bit more personal, but I hope you found it valuable. And I would like to know what your guys' goals was, and if you have made any mistakes, I would like to know them in the comments. So please shoot them over, and of course be sure to subscribe and like, and hit up on my socials if you have any questions, and down in the comments, of course. And see you in the next one. Bye.